Welcome back, guys, to Cool Keenan Games. I am once again playing Narcissu, and this is part 2. Now, if this isn't your type of thing, I'm not gonna blame you if you go watch something else or do anything like that. So anyway, here we go, continuing the story. A few days later, New Year's celebrations were over, and the middle and high school students were beginning a new term. And just as ever, she and I sat in this lounge, staring blankly at the TV. This is boring.
そうね
So it is. So we said, but both of us kept our eyes on the screen. Hey, is this place always this way?
質問の意味がわからない
I don't understand what you're getting at. I'm getting at how it's always deserted. Other than the nurses, doctors, and help staff, and other than her, I'd not seen a single person. Did everybody go home for the New Year or something?
その理由を知りたいの
Do you really want to know? Well, I didn't mean...
じゃあ言わない
Then I won't tell you. We, who disinterestedly tossed back and forth this exchange that could not even be called a conversation. The slight breeze coming from the window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. From time to time, her hair would sway, and as if in agreement, the flowers at the windowsill would too. This was how we killed time day after day. This is how we killed time day after day, staring at that boring, good-for-nothing TV. Oh, here the two of you are, an elderly nurse said as she rushed towards us. From what I'd seen of the nurse's station, she was apparently the charge nurse of 7F. Well, Miss Sasumi, any fever?
大丈夫
I'm
出てない
fine, no fever. Satsumi? Satsumi. So that was her name. You really shouldn't be moving around like this. Do you understand? Everyone's worried about you.
別にいいよ
Well, whatever. Come now, what kind of answer is that? Oh, children these days. The nurse continued to scold and henpeck for some while longer. And the girl named Satsumi, just pretended not to notice it at all. She simply stared straight forward at that boring TV, paying that fussy nurse as little heed as she could. I'll be coming later to draw some blood, okay? With those words, the charge nurse went back to the nurse's station. Hey, you know... Well, mind if I call you Satsumi? I asked this as I stared at her white vinyl ID bracelet, and at the blood type and the name written therein. Is something the matter, Satsumi?
どうして呼び捨てなの
Why are you calling me that? Huh?
年下のくせに
You're younger than me. Hey, why am I younger than you?
別にそう思っただけ
That's just what I thought is all. It wasn't that I was offended that she called me younger than her. It was just that no matter how I looked at it, I thought I was 5, 6 years older than she was. That's why I took out my driver's license from my breast pocket and handed it directly to her. See? I may not seem it, but I'm 20.
やっぱり年下よ。
So you're younger after all. She only took a glance at my license before handing it back to me. I don't really get what you're saying.
どうでもいいじゃない。
It doesn't really matter. I'm just a little older than you are, that's all. She murmured, expressionlessly as ever. Her eyes were fixed on that boring TV, all right. But it also felt as if she was gazing at something far away. After they'd taken my AM vital signs, I snuck past the nurses and boarded the elevator. When I got to 1F, I walked out to the outpatient clinic doors and walked outside of the hospital. My goal was the place that I'd been told about not too long ago, the faraway B station, not the nearby A station. It wasn't that I wanted to escape or anything. At 7F or at home, none of us died anywhere else. That's what I've been told. And this B station, which this girl named Satsumi had apparently been to many times. That's why, at least just once, I wanted to see this place with my own eyes. It's not as if there's going to be a guard on duty. Even so, we were the inhabitants of 7F, different from other patients. And thinking of vague maybes, so early in the morning, I headed toward that station. My legs settled into a lazy gait as I glanced sidelong at the people commuting to school or work. After about 25 minutes of this, I arrived in front of the station. Roughly 4 bus stops away when I calculated it out. Wow, there are a lot of people here. That was my first impression of the B station. I stood out a bit because I was in pajamas. But I felt if I could just buy a subway ticket, I'd be able to go anywhere. No question about it. I still had no idea why I'd been told to go to the B station, not the A station. But it looked as if it would be easy to escape if I really wanted to. She must have come here many times herself. So why did she remain on 7F right now? The station, early in the morning. I stood there, thinking these thoughts, as I watched the people rapidly passing me by. That night, after lights out, bored of manga, and unable to sleep, I wandered through the hospital alone. Certainly, it wasn't supposed to be allowed after lights out, but we of 7F had a peculiar kind of liberty. So, in the presence of no light, in the pitch black stillness of the lounge, that was where I found her. Hey, have you been looking outside today? Yeah. The darkened interior. She did answer me, but she continued to stare out the window as if she had not. I immediately launched into what had happened today. Oh, by the way, I went out to the station today. The B station, just as you taught me.
So,
I see. Her response did not change. I thought that she'd react with something because she'd been there before too. But now that I thought about it, did the fact that she was here mean that she had no intention of escaping in the first place?
私
I'm going to be going
も
home
うすぐ
soon.
帰る
What? She opened her mouth abruptly and spoke as if she'd seen right through me.
でも次で3回
So
目だ
next
から
time, will there be a third time?
もう会えないかもね
So we may not see each other again. Yeah, I guess. Probably what she was talking about was the temporary discharge from the hospital. She told me that nobody was discharged from 7F more than 3 times. Unlike the elderly, given the progress of our diseases, this meant all the more to young people like us. Her "we may not see each other again" was filled with that kind of meaning.
あなたは
Oh, which one have you
どちらを
decided
選
on?
ぶの
Decided on?
どっちで死ぬつもりってこと
Where you're going to die. When that word death came up so abruptly, I was at a total loss for words. I don't know. Haven't thought about it yet.
そう
I see.
まだ
It's just
1
your
回目
first
だもん
time, after all. She murmured, looking desolate. Certainly, it wasn't as if I was going to exist here forever. Just like everyone else, I would be admitted and discharged, slowly grow weak, and someday, I would have to choose in the end, here on 7F or at home surrounded by those fake smiles.
私は
I don't want to die at home,
だけど
but I don't want to die here either. Then what will you do?
別に
I guess
どうもし
the
ない
only thing
自力で歩けるうちに
is to go somewhere
どこかに行くだけ
while I still have the strength. To. Somewhere? You can't be. This girl, who was staying here on 7F when she could have escaped any time she wanted. When I thought of that, do you have any other place to go?
あなた
Do you
私を引き止めたいの
want to stop me? What?
それとも
Or do you want to
一緒
come
に
with
つ
me?
いてきたいの
Well, no, that wasn't what I was thinking about.
じゃあ
Then
聞かない
don't ask. She was staring out the window as she spoke, dispassionate, not looking at me once, the same as ever. But then, and just then, her usual expressionless face looked so very sad to me. I was a newcomer to 7F, just recently taught that the 3rd discharge was the last. And she was a girl who soon was to be discharged for the 2nd time. I still did not feel anything real about what was happening to me. But would I, too, come to wear such a face someday? The rain at morning twilight. Sometimes sleet, sometimes snow, always coming down. And I was sitting there, watching TV in my usual place, 7F felt as devoid of people as it always had.
面白い
Anything interesting? No, completely boring. She walked to my side. Saying no more, she sat down in a chair next to me. And that was how we began watching TV on this very day as well. She was probably in the same boat as me. Nothing else to do, nothing we could do. Oh. I had never seen her respond to the TV before. Is something the matter?
別に
Not really. Those were her usual words, but her response was anything but usual. And I looked at the screen, interested in anything that could move her so. There were nature scenes being displayed on TV. Beautiful hills and dales burgeoning with trees and flowers. And the vast spread of white flowers in the mist. I remembered those flowers from somewhere. They looked very similar to the white flowers that decorated the windowsills. Could those be the same flowers? You know, the same as those over there. I pointed to the flowers by the window as I said this.
違う
No. Huh? Really?
種類は同じだけど
They're the same
厳密
variety,
に言え
but they're not strictly the same. She glanced at the flowers by the window for a second, and then went back to gazing at the TV. She told me that they were different, but I couldn't see the distinction between the two. And it meant nothing to me whether flowers were the same or different. But what did mean something to me was this girl who usually never said a word more than she needed to. She was conversing in rare form today, which is why I decided to follow along. Do you happen to know a lot about them? Flowers, that is.
別に
Not really. Really? But I don't see the difference. The flowers on the screen and the flowers in the vase to her side. I continued to talk as I stared vacantly at the two. Look, look, are those orchids or lilies? See, they're pure white, right? I had no interest, yet I kept trying to make conversation. But she resumed her silence soon enough, and with her usual lack of expression, she continued staring at the boring TV screen. And just when I turned back to the TV, resigned to the fact that I could get nothing more out of her.
ナルキソス
Narcissus. Narcissus. What?
ナルキソスよ
Those are narcissus. As she answered, she turned to face me for the first time. Her hip-length hair swaying, she pointed at the TV screen and looked at me. The ID bracelet on her wrist was white. Her skin was white, just like the flowers on screen. And I swore I could see a tiny smile on that face that was looking at me for the first time. I'm guessing this. Anyway, guys, so that's the end of this episode. For some reason, I really want to finish this. and hopefully you guys will stick through it with me, and hopefully the people who are watching this do enjoy it. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out and goodbye.